Welcome. I'm Marisa. You likely know. I'm Marisa, and this is a beginning yoga class. So please gather whatever props you have, wherever you are, and come sitting down. And if you have a blanket or a few blankets like I do here, or a pillow, please sit up on it. Take your hands, palms down over your legs. Sit tall and upright through your torso, lift your chest, center your head over your shoulders, and close your eyes. If closing your eyes makes you feel disoriented, keep them open. Otherwise, with eyes closed, allow yourself to settle right now into your body more deeply. Be aware of the shape of you in the sitting position you've chosen. Be aware of your hands and feet. Note where your legs and arms are, how the legs are shaped, how they're folded, or maybe they're straight. And notice the arms from the shoulder all the way to the hands. And let your forelimbs, including your hands and feet, be deeply in your awareness. And also let these areas be very still. Taking the time to be still enough to feel yourself, because this is a way that you can become more aware, more in the present. And whenever you're more in the present, your higher self is here with you or more available to you. You already are your higher self, that like all-knowing, all-loving, empathetic, compassionate, truthful. Your higher self, all those high aspects are you. They're always you. And when we practice being more in the present, more of our higher self shows up. So you don't need to think about that too much in an intellectual way. I just wanted to name it and say it for you. Being aware of the limbs and the hands and feet, be at ease. Notice that your buttocks is sitting, so let it drop down a little more or be more firmly placed on whatever you're sitting on. And then lift your torso upright from bottom to top a little bit more, opening your chest, lifting your chest, and relaxing your shoulders down your back. Your neck and head are above the torso. Let the back of your neck be long and relax the throat in front. And then notice your inhalation and your exhalation. So now your attention, your awareness is with your physical body and also with the breathing. If you practice on your own or you want to do something on your own, please take a few minutes or even just 1 minute to sit in stillness, feeling your body, being aware of your breathing. From here, lean a little forward wherever you are, and then make some big circles in a clockwise direction, or it could be counterclockwise also. But anyway, in one direction, sitting tall and upright, make some big circles. Warming up the body because you're moving, and also really kind of stirring up your lower torso because you're lifting your chest. You have to engage some abdominal muscles to make these big, wide circles. And when you get to the top of the circle the next time, you can reverse and go the other way. Breathing freely. Your eyes can be closed if you want. And then when you get back to the top of the circle, back yourself up. I came off my blanket, so I'm going to sit back up on them. Back yourself up anyway, come to that center position. If your legs are crossed like mine, you can hold on to the lower legs, but if they're in a different position, you can hold on wherever, or even the floor if your legs are straight. But basically, you want to lift the torso, and with your hands holding your legs like this, you can get a little bit more lift. And then you're going to inhale and draw your torso forward, and exhale, draw it back. So inhaling forward and exhaling back. And I'll just keep going, and I'll turn to the side and do this so you can see. However your legs are is fine. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. You're moving the shoulder blades in when you inhale, and moving the shoulder blades back when you exhale. When you inhale, if you press your sitting bones down or your buttock bones down more, it'll give you a greater lift in your chest forward. So you can try that. So consciously trying to sit down more deeply as you open your chest forward, and then you draw your shoulder blades back. Your eyes can be closed if you want. Let your facial muscles be relaxed and go whatever pace you want. If you feel stiff, it's okay. If it feels awkward, it's okay. The body will open up more as you keep moving, as you keep applying a positive intention. Then come to the center where you are, so you're like aligned upright in the center, and inhale long, slow, and deep through your nose. Hold the breath in. When you hold the breath in, lift up on the pelvic floor, draw your navel in towards your spine, lift the chest, drop your chin, and hold the breath. Hold the breath, and then exhale. Have your hands palms down on your legs. Allow yourself to feel the stillness in the body right now, and also how your mind has become more quiet, more still, even just a little bit. When you're ready, you can take your time, hands forward in front of you, walk your hands forward. When you walk your hands forward, take your hands wider than your shoulders and keep lengthening the torso, looking slightly forward as you stretch your arms forward. And then you can drop your head, but don't let your chest drop too much. You still want to be like broad in the chest. Then walk your hands over to one side. You reach over to one side, your spinal twisting, so you have to drop the opposite buttock, opposite hip. Be aware of your breathing as you're doing this. And if you're tight, I'm like super tight right now. And this is my right side. So I'm carrying the breath in on the inhalation to that area that's very tight, that's very compressed. And when I exhale, I'm like expanding the air out of that area. It's visual. It's internally visual. Expanding the area out so that there's less compression, less congestion in that tight area. So you can do that at any time, right now or anytime. When you're ready, walk your hands back to the center. Lengthen forward, lengthen forward, lengthen forward. And then walk your hands over to the other side. And when you walk your hands, make sure your hands are wider than your shoulders, because you want to be open in the chest. Drop your head. If you're extending over to the right, drop the left buttock more. If you're extending to the left, drop your right buttock more. Breathe with awareness. And then walk your hands back to the center when you're ready. Yoga is a lot, at least in the beginning, and then actually even when you're more advanced, it's a lot about pulling your attention more and more into your body, more and more into awareness of you. Because so much of life is about responsibility or activities or the other or something outside of ourselves, or the worries and the concerns. And so we're constantly stepping away from ourselves. which would be okay if we didn't then usually lose ourselves or we become less centered. I mean, actually, we have to spend time coming back to ourselves and being here with us, knowing ourselves. If we all could be more complete with ourselves, then when we're out, when we're giving out, when we're needed, our self naturally shows up in the highest way, right? Because the more we're present, the more we're connected to ourselves, the more our higher self is right there, accessible to us, or it's moving through us. Anyway, it's us. So we're more able to be in the world in a way that's helpful and true and honest. And yoga helps us to move into that space because we're constantly working in a physical way and also with the breath on being more where we are and applying our best effort to do these movements from the practice. From here, sit tall where you are and take your hands to your shoulders so your fingers are in front and your thumbs are in the back and your upper arms are extending out towards the elbows at the height of your shoulders. So keep your arms up and keep the shoulders descending, so not lifting up towards the ears. When you're ready, inhale to your left, exhale to your right. So it's spinal twisting with extension in the torso and movement with the breath. So inhaling left when you're ready, exhaling to the right. You can engage your abdominal muscles. You can draw your navel in and really move. Think about moving the lower body. It's pretty easy to move the arms, the upper body. So try to move the lower body left and right. And the neck and head just move with the rest of the torso. Come back to the center where you are. Inhale long, slow, and deep, and hold the breath in. Hold the breath. Lift up on your pelvic floor. Draw your navel into the spine. Drop your chin slightly. You can close your eyes or keep them open. Keep the arms up. Don't tense your face, please. Relax your face. Hold. Exhale. Keep your chest lifting, the palms up over your legs. Then close your eyes. They can also be open. Keep the sitting position and relax. Relax all the way. If your eyes are closed, please open them and then stretch your legs out in front of you. Extend your arms up overhead. Pull your fingers and toes apart. Lift your chin and look up. Extend your arms and legs. Draw your head back so the throat in front opens. As you lift your chin up, drop your shoulders. And then go ahead, lower your head back to the center. And lengthen forward as far as you can. And maybe you're somebody that can touch your toes, or maybe it's the shins or something higher up. But I want you to keep the extension that you have in the torso when your arms and legs are long. Keep it as you come forward and take your hands wherever you can. Lift your chest more. It's a lot of work. Lift your chest upwards, descend your shoulders down your back, and then drop your chin down, your head down. If you have a block, you could If you have a belt, you could also use that. And then go ahead, come up. It's okay if it was super difficult for you. From here, come around and sit up on your heels. So you're sitting like this. And you could sit up on something underneath your buttocks if you want, or on a block. I'm just going to show like this. So you're sitting on your heels, sit tall. Take your hands in front of you, interlace your fingers, press your palms forward, take your arms up. So I know I'm doing that quick, but basically you're sitting either something on your buttocks or not. Hands in front of you, interlace, press your palms forward, arms up. This, in Sanskrit, this is called Parvatasana in Virasana, and that's describing what you're doing. The legs are folded, you're sitting on your heels, the torso is extended, the arms are extended, and the palms are reaching upwards towards the ceiling. The best you can, try not to curve the lumbar spine too much, so draw your front ribs towards the back ribs, so maybe you're a little flatter in the low back, and drop your buttocks down towards your heels. At the same time, you're lifting your chest. It should feel somewhat like you're doing a back bend in the upper back. So some of the movements that we already did were to help you do this pose without overusing your lumbar, right, the low back. Lift your chest. You can lift your chin and look up. If that's hard on your neck, I know I didn't say that earlier, don't lift your chin. But otherwise, drop your buttocks, lift through the rib cage, stretch your arms, look up and back behind the pinky fingers. Totally straight arms if you can, and then look forward in front of you. And then stretch your arms all the way out and down and behind you, and interlace your hands behind you. And come forward any amount you can. Head to the floor if you can, or put something under your head. And take your arms up. And see if you can draw your arms over your head any amount. Hands are still interlaced. So this could also look like your head is way up or much higher even than this as the arms come over. And then go ahead, release your arms and let them just rest at your sides. Keep your legs together right now. So this is not like a child's pose. I mean, it's kind of like a child's pose, but your legs are together instead of apart, and let your torso fall forward and down. And then take your hands by the knees, so kind of close in. Use some arm strength, push the floor away, and come all the way up to sitting. So then now you're up here sitting. If it's uncomfortable, you could change your leg position, it's okay. Then take your hands in front of you, interlace your fingers the other way, so the other little pinky is on the outside of the interlace, and extend your arms forward. If also this is too hard on your wrists or something with your fingers, you can just stretch your arms forward in front of you. But if you can interlace them and press the palms forward, this is Parvatasana. Then take your arms up any amount that you can, trying not to lift your shoulders and not to draw the back waist forward. Take your arms all the way up so that your ears and your upper arms are aligned. I mean, if you can, do that. Drop your buttocks, press your shins into the floor if you're sitting like me, lift the rib cage from bottom to top. Look forward in front of you for right now. Let your face be relaxed. And then if you can lift your chin and look up and draw your head way back, please do this. Breathe deeply now. If your head is drawn back, go ahead and bring it forward. Extend your arms all the way out to the sides and down when you're ready. And then arms, just let them hang at your sides. You can close your eyes if you want, but let the arms really like dangle from the shoulders, like they're just falling. But that lift in the torso is still strong, still there with little effort. And then taking your time, come so that you are on your hands and knees on your mat. And have your hands a little wider than your shoulders, and pull your fingers apart wide. Push the floor away and lift your chest. Look forward and up. Exhale, round in. Inhaling, lengthening forward and lifting your chest and looking up, straight arms. Exhaling, rounding in. So just move with your breathing. Inhaling, it's really lengthening and opening, and exhaling, pulling the navel to the spine and rounding in and up with the back. You can go at any pace you want. You could close your eyes if you want. Okay, this next time, inhale and hold the position. Hold the position, push the floor away, lift your chin, eyes open or closed. Be here, pull the shoulders down your back, but lift your chest forward and up, look up. Even if your eyes are closed, you're kind of looking up. Then exhale, round in. Hold the breath out, draw the navel to the spine, push the floor away, lift the shoulder blades to the ceiling, lengthen your arms, hold the breath, round your low back and let that low back kind of bubble out into the space behind you. Then inhale back to the center. And then this time, separate your knees, sit back on your heels, and rest your head down. So your knees are wide, your big toes are touching. If you can't sit on your buttocks the way I am, you can put something between your feet and your buttocks, the blankets. Those blankets could be underneath. Relax your arms, any position that's comfortable for the arms, so that your arms relax and also your shoulders relax. Take your hands by your knees, push the floor away, come all the way up to sitting, and take a moment to feel what it's like to sit upright right now. Your eyes can be closed or open, and you can sit in a different position than how I'm showing, but I want you to be upright just for a moment before we move on. The slowness, this is a beginner class, so to find a balance between like going slow so that you can feel and learn and be with what's happening. And at the same time, the slower you go in a way, that the harder it is to sustain your attention and to sustain an interest in a way, or to feel like it's enough. So with that, let's keep going. Hands to the top of your mat. Hands shoulder width apart. Stretch your fingers wide and push your hands into the floor and straighten your arms. And then look slightly forward. So look a little forward so that your chest, your throat is opening forward, your chest is open. Straighten your arms. Feel your knees on the floor, about hip distance apart, and then tuck your toes under. So take a moment to really strongly tuck your toes under and feel what it's like to stretch the bottoms of your feet. We don't do this action except for like in yoga or some other kind of movement class. So tuck the toes under and reach the heels back behind you. Lengthen your arms and open your chest forward. Then lift the knees up off the floor a little bit, because I want you to feel your own weight and also the strength that you have. You can have your knees off the floor, your hands are on the floor, your feet are on the floor, and you're looking slightly forward, legs are bent. Engage the abdominal muscles, draw your navel in. Then keep your legs bent and push the floor away from you, lengthening your arms. The arms can kind of like move up into the shoulder sockets and then lengthen the arms like as if they could lengthen along the sides of your ribs to your outer hips, and then draw with your legs bent. Draw your outer hips up and away from where your hands are. So I want you to keep your legs bent for right now, and maybe the belly is on the legs. That would be good if that's happening, because I want you to feel what it's like to have long arms and this long torso and your legs are bent. It's a lot of work, but it's informative. Then straighten your legs any amount you can by moving the front legs to the front of the thighs towards the back of the thighs. So now maybe your back isn't as long or something, but try to keep the arms extended, and that'll help you lengthen your torso. And lengthen your legs. Even if your legs are slightly bent, you're still lengthening the lower legs and the upper legs. Release your neck and head. You could bend the left leg and straighten the right leg more, and maybe the right heel comes to the floor. Feel the calf. Feel the right thigh, move it back. Front of the right thigh moves towards the back of the right thigh. Then straighten both legs. Then bend the right leg. You bend the right leg, most of your focus goes to the left leg, of course, but don't forget, hands are firmly placed on the floor. Extend your arms and see if you can lengthen your calf to your Achilles tendon on that left side there to try to press the left heel onto the floor. And draw the front of the left thigh to the back of the left thigh. And then straighten both legs any amount that you can. Drop your neck and head, long arms and long legs. And when you extend those arms and legs, the torso gets more length. From here, bend your knees and walk your feet in towards your hands. And when you get your feet up to the top of your mat, you could hang in a forward bend, you could hold on to the opposite elbows, but this might be super uncomfortable with straight legs, so you could bend your legs. You could also take your hands to your shins or even higher. I just want you to keep your head down for a little bit because you were just in this downward dog, which is an inversion, meaning that your head has been lower than your heart, so it relaxes the nervous system. So I want you to be slow in coming out of that. But then now as you're ready, you can bend your legs or keep them straight and slowly roll up, all the way up to a standing upright position. So taking your time, go ahead and turn towards the long side of your mat. So I'm facing you here like this. And then walk your feet wide apart. So then now you have your feet wide, toes are pointing forward, and the torso is upright. Then you can take your hands to your waist and draw your elbows slightly back because it helps open the whole front of the body. Then you can turn the toes, everything towards your left. And so you can go part way, but then you can't move too much more. So you need to lift the right heel and turn the toes all the way of the right foot towards that short side of your mat, and then lower the foot down. So that back foot can turn out to the right a little bit, or even a lot. Just be careful of your ankle. But the point is that I want you to have these wide legs, and then now the whole body, everything is turning towards that short side of your mat, the short side. And so then again, you can take your hands to your waist and draw your elbows back to open the front of the body. So in this pose, in this pose and on this side, the back leg is the right leg. So lengthen the right leg a lot, and you turn the right thigh inward. So any amount you can visualize that or get some action of the right thigh turning inward. It'll help you bring your right hip a little bit more forward. The forward foot is the left foot. Press the left foot firmly down into the floor and feel the left thigh, or draw the left thigh, it's subtle, up into the left hip socket. So both legs are straight. Both legs are extending towards your feet, but they also need to move into the hip sockets. And the right leg is turning inward as the torso is facing forward. Hands at your waist. From here, I want you to extend your arms forward to shoulder height, if you can, or you can also keep your hands on your waist, and then arms all the way up. So when you take your arms up, you have more length in the torso, which is good. It's more work, but you also get a greater lift in the trunk. You're not sinking down towards the floor, or dropping towards the earth because of gravity, but you're actually lifting yourself up. Keep reaching your arms up, keep the right leg straight, and bend the left leg. Bend the left leg. And then if you can lift your chin and look up in between your hands, go ahead. Lengthen the arms, lengthen the sides of the ribs, draw your head way back, and bend the forward leg. It should feel at least a little bit like a back bend in the upper back. And then look forward in front of you, and then straighten that forward leg, and you can lower your arms and turn towards the side, which was the original front. Hands can be at your waist, and then you turn to the other side. So you can turn everything to the right or to the second side a little, but then you have to actually lift the back heel and turn the toes a little more towards that short side of your mat, and then try to lengthen the calf as you place the heel on the ground. Right, so now you have your toes more or less facing this short side of your mat, hands on your waist, elbows draw slightly back to open the front of the body. The back leg is the left leg. Rotate the thigh inward on this side, and that left hip will come a little bit more forward. Press the right foot into the floor and straighten the right leg. Lifting your chest, looking forward. When you're ready, extend the arms out from the shoulders and then all the way up. Really reach up with your arms all the way through to the fingertips. Keep the left leg very straight and bend the right leg. Bend the right leg as much as you can. Keep lifting the torso, and if you have the balance, you can lift your head and look up and back behind your thumbs, like look back behind you. Straighten the left leg, turn the left thigh inward, lift through the torso. Feel the right foot solid on the floor and bend the right leg, and then lift through the torso. Breathe freely. Look forward in front of you if you're looking up. Straighten the right leg, lower the arms, and turn towards the front side of, or anyway, that first side. It's not really the front. I mean, there's all kinds of fronts of the mat for this one. Hands to your waist. And then come forward, bending forward. Your hands are wide. Lower yourself down all the way if you can. If you can't go this low, it's okay. Take your hands, interlace them behind you, and take your arms over your head any amount. You could also keep your legs bent. Drop your torso, drop your neck and head. From here, whether your legs are straight or bent, either way is fine. Take your hands to the floor. And then from here, turn towards one side. You can see, you can watch. I'm just going to walk my hands over to my left, so I'm at the top of my mat, and then step back into downward facing dog. So best you can, you just keep your head low, walk over to one side, come back into downward facing dog where you were earlier, and feel what it's like now to do downward dog. Long arms and legs, release your neck and head. Walk your feet together, or anyway close, and maybe they touch, but maybe your feet are apart a little bit. Raise the right leg up a lot. Bend the right leg and open your pelvis towards the ceiling. So why I like this one is because it helps you feel your belly in front. It helps you feel what it's like to twist the pelvis around. At the same time, though, you have to keep your arms very straight and try to keep your shoulders level with each other. So don't let the right shoulder lift up towards the ceiling, but let the right foot drop back so you're turning your pelvis towards the ceiling. From here, the right leg's already bent, so keep it bent, but draw it in towards your torso. And take your weight more over your hands as you look forward, and take your right foot on the outside of your right hand and let the left knee come to the floor. If you have blocks, I know I didn't mention this at all today before, but if you have some blocks and they're not too far away, take them underneath either hand with your hands shoulder width apart, and your right leg is bent, and your left knee is on the floor, and the left toes are untucked and flat. So lunge forward. What's nice about this is it helps you to open your pelvis, the groin area. If you take the blocks to the highest height, you get to lift your torso up more. Also, the higher height of the blocks here makes the pose deeper. You can feel like a deeper stretch. So do what you can without strain, especially if you're really super new. And then go ahead and lower the blocks if they're on the high height, or pretty soon lower the blocks. And then I want you to take a moment, just a spinal twist, so the right hand is on the right leg, or anyway, the bent leg, and you're turning and twisting and looking up. So turn your torso towards your bent leg. Let your pelvis keep lunging forward and turn and open up. And then go ahead, come around. Tuck the back toes under, lift the knee off the floor. And then keeping your hands on the blocks, if you have them, step back into downward dog. That's why the blocks had to be on kind of a lower height. The high height makes, when the blocks are on the high height in this, they're pretty wobbly. So a lower height's better usually. Take your feet together or slightly together or almost together and raise the left leg up. So now you can extend all four limbs for right now. Then you bend only the left limb, or that elevated leg, and drop the left foot down. Gravity helps with that. Keep your shoulders level with each other
but open the pelvis, turn the belly towards the ceiling, and breathe freely. From here, when you're ready, the left leg's bent. You keep the bend in that left leg and you draw it in towards the body. It's a lot of work. You have to lift that leg in towards the body. Then take your weight, or your weight, take your shoulders over your hands more, and take the left foot on the outside of the left hand. Coming forward, taking your knee to the floor, and tuck the foot. Let your pelvis lunge forward. Lift the torso upright, and your blocks can be on any height. Lift your chest. Make sure the blocks are on either the lowest height, which is flat, or that second height. As you then take your hand to the bent leg and turn and twist towards the bent leg. So drawing the pelvis forward, but lifting up through the torso, and then spinal twisting, which means you're turning the trunk. The ribs on the right side of the body are turning towards the left, and the ribs on the left side of the body keep turning around towards the left. Turn your neck and head any amount you can. Chest open, collarbones broad. And then taking your time, coming back out, hands to the blocks. Lift your chest, straight arms, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, straighten the right leg as much as you can, or anyway, all the way, right leg straight best you can. Then when you're ready, with ease, with strong arms and strong right leg, with ease, step back into downward dog. Breathe easily. And then, as you're ready to, bend your legs and walk in towards your hands. And if you have the blocks, it makes it easier. You take the blocks to a high height, beyond your fingertips, bend your legs a little and come up to standing. If you have the blocks, it's okay if you don't. Take your blocks on the highest height on either side of the back end of your mat, so on the long side here. And then you stand upright in the middle of your spot and take your feet wide. So we did this before. So we're standing in the middle, you take your feet wide, toes pointing forward. But we're taking triangle pose. Hands to your waist, turn the back toes to the right, so the left toes to the right, and then the right toes to the right all the way. Turn this leg out so the right toes are pointing towards that short side of your mat. Extend your arms up to the height of your shoulders. Press your feet into the floor and have long legs. Lift the torso, straight arms, extend over towards the side. Take your hand down, and if you have a block, you can draw the block under your shoulder. You could also hold your shin. You could touch the floor if you can, if you have a block, but you want to be long on the right side of your body and the left side. Pull the left arm up from the right. Extend the arms, extend the legs, and turn the torso and look up towards your upper hand. So you're, again, spinal twisting the trunk, turning it upwards. Keep the limbs long. You can reach out. So the left hand is the upper hand. Reach out through the fingers. That'll help you open your chest more. Press your right hand down if you're touching a block or something. It could also be on your fingertips, or hold the leg, or even you could hold the ankle. Turn the torso upwards. To come out of this, reach with your upper hand, press your feet into the floor firm, use an inhalation, and come out. And then keep breathing. Turn your toes forward, and then the toes turn towards the left or the second side. Don't turn your torso to the left yet, but keep the rib cage facing front. So left ribs turn a little to the right as you lift upright. Then extend over strongly towards the second side and take your hand down wherever you're working. Pull your arms apart, stack your arms one above the other so your shoulders and your chest open. Turn the torso from left to right and turn your neck and head. Draw the shoulders down your back. Open your chest in the direction of your left foot and lengthen through all four limbs. Breathing freely. To come out of this, press down with your feet, reach with your right hand, use an inhalation, and come up and out. All the way up and all the way out, feet forward, arms down. Take your hands like we did earlier,
to the waist. Then draw your elbows slightly back to open the front of the body. Firm up your footing and fold forward or begin to bend forward. Lower your head any amount you can. If you can interlace your hands over the top of your head, or I'm sorry, behind you, then let your arms hang over the top of your head. Or you can keep your legs bent. Any variation of this is okay. To come out, release your hands. They could touch the floor, or the blocks are nearby. You could have your hands, use the block to help lift you up. That works. Then heel toe your feet in a few times. Bend your legs and come all the way up to standing. Okay, then take your time, come down. So where you are, gather what you have so that you can do a supported back bend right now. And so what that means is I have a yoga bolster here, which is really good, but you don't have to have a bolster. You could have some pillows, or a couch cushion is really good. It'll be wider, but that's okay. It'll be wider than this. What you want is the length here, because this is like your spine. So go and grab what you have if you didn't grab things, before class. It could be also blankets, like a blanket from your bed, like folded up, something like this shape is perfect. What you want is some height, and you want length, like for your torso and your head. So I'm using this. If you have a block and a bolster, you might want to take it underneath, and you can have a little more lift. If you don't have anything, what are you going to do? Well, you can just do the pose, but it's not quite a back bend, but it'll be anyway a nice reclining position. So I'm hoping you're having some things there and setting them up while I put on my sweatshirt. Okay, so then you're going to come sitting on the floor. So this is why if you don't have anything, it's okay. But you're going to come sitting on the floor so that you're a little bit, like a little bit away from the props. So like maybe half an inch. And then cross your legs, just like a simple cross-legged position. And then take your hands behind you, be on your fingertips here, that's ideal, because then you have straight arms, and lift your torso upright. Maybe you're like almost touching, not quite. Lengthening, and coming back and laying down over your props. And the blankets that I put here at the back end, or so your head's a little higher if you can, because if your head's low, it can be comfortable, but most of us, it's a little more comfortable if your head, it has a little height under it. And then palms up at your sides. So if you don't have any props, I just feel like I have to mention this again. If you don't have any props, it's still a nice stretch with your legs crossed and laying flat on the floor. But it's just not a back bend. From here, allow yourself to relax. You won't be here that long. So make sure that you right away drop into deep awareness, or anyway, more awareness of your physical body, and let yourself be still and let yourself totally relax. Receiving really the back bend that the props behind you, behind your torso, are giving you. It is like receiving. It is. Some of these yoga words really work. They're really accurate. Let the sides of the rib cage fall towards the floor. And that means that the center of your trunk, it's subtle, but the center of your trunk is lifted as the ribs kind of peel away and drop down towards the floor. Taking your time, notice the cross of your legs. Notice which leg is further away from you, the shin, because you're going to switch it. Extend one leg and then the other, and be in the position with straight legs, reaching out through your heels, pressing your thighs to the floor. Pull your toes apart. And with the legs active, relax the trunk more.
Press your thighs to the floor, reach out through the heels, and relax the trunk more. Then draw one leg in so it's closer to the body, so the opposite crisscross of your legs, and then draw the other leg in. If you aren't sure, if you cross your legs and it'll feel exactly the same. If it is exactly the same, then you just switch it. Become totally passive now. You can take this opportunity to be aware of the breath a little more deeply. And when you inhale, feel the breath in your belly. So you literally can like breathe in the belly, into the belly, and the belly will expand. Don't make it a big expansion, just like a comfortable expansion. And then keep inhaling the breath and see if you can carry the breath up your torso so your chest lifts a little more. By the top of the inhalation, the chest can be a little more open. And then when you're ready, you don't have to do the breathing with the pace that I'm talking at. Just breathe and apply what you can. When you're ready to exhale, keep your chest open and you just gently release the breath from the top of the torso down and out through the belly. And you could even feel like or visualize that the belly breath, or when the breath exits out the belly, it like exits out the navel or down even out towards the pubic bone. Try not to think too much about this because it's important that you relax and that you are taking some time to notice the breath, and to the degree that you can, without any extra strain or effort, you're inhaling the belly in the beginning of the inhalation and carrying the breath up towards your chest. And then when you exhale, it's from the chest down towards the belly. Finish the breath that you're on and do one more breath in the same way, and then just let that movement or focus fall away. You can just breathe normally. And your normal breathing might be that same breathing, but you're not really consciously trying to do that. Extend your legs out straight and let the legs be passive. And then bend one leg and push off that leg and roll over to the side and then come up. When you come up, your legs maybe are already bent, so now you're upright and the legs are bent. Or if not, go ahead and have your legs be in this position where they're just they're bent and they're over to the right. Then take your left hand behind you on the floor. You can have your fingertips here like this on the floor. Or if you have a block, it's nice, you can take your hands up on the block because you want height and length in your torso. And then take your right hand on the inner right thigh and turn and twist towards the left. And just keep turning and twisting from right to left, or anyway, to the side. Look around towards your left. Hold the pose. I'm just going to turn off some air that just went on. Lifting your chest and turning and twisting. And then you can release and come out. And this time when you come out, stretch your legs in front of you. I'm just going to move this. So your legs are out in front of you and your body's upright. Then you sweep your legs over to the other side. Take your hand behind you, the right hand behind you, on the floor, on a block. Lift the torso. So you want to get length. The point of the block, if you have one, is because it raises the floor, and then you can have a little more extension in the torso. Your left hand on the inner left leg with the torso long, turn and twist from left to right, and look over your right shoulder. So this left hand pushing into the leg is to help you turn more. You certainly could move the hand to the other leg, to the right leg. Just make sure that your collarbones, your chest is open. You don't want to be closing here as you're turning. You want to keep it open. And turn your head and look to the right. Keep your eyes open and look to the right. So you're looking to the corners, or really to the sides of your eyes as you turn your eyes to the right. Breathe freely, and then as you're ready, you can come out and around to the center and stretch your legs out. Okay, so here's I believe the last pose we have time for today. I'm going to give you an option, two options. One is you could lay flat. It's not for very long, it's just a couple minutes. You're going to lay flat with your calves, over your knee, something under your knees, with your calves over on the other side of whatever you have here. This works good. And then you're going to lay down. And you're going to either lay flat, totally flat, or you take a blanket or something for under your head, just like last time. It's very comfortable. Palms up. Shavasana. So something under your head, relax like this. It's not for very long, so this might be like the perfect option for you. I'm just going to give another one, just in case this is a bridge pose, supported bridge pose. So you do need a block or something like a block. And if you know it, come into it right away. But otherwise, the block is on the high height. It goes under the buttocks, but you have to walk your feet in, lift your pelvis up, tuck your shoulders under and lift your pelvis super high with the shoulders tucked under and your chest lifting. You take the block under your buttocks, below the waist, and then you are here. So either position, take your time and come into it. And if it's brand new, this one with the block, maybe do the other one. Whatever position you're in, palms up at your sides. Be aware of your breathing and let your body be calm. Allow your body to become quiet. If you haven't found comfort, please adjust so that you are comfortable. If you've chosen the one where you're up on the block, at this point, or pretty soon from this point, you need to walk your feet in a little and lift your heels. Press the balls of your feet into the ground. It'll help you lift your pelvis up and you remove the block. And draw your buttocks towards your heels as you come down. And from here, if you're up on the block, from here you take the block or something and rest on your side. Yeah. And then from here, those of you that were with a bolster under your knees, you can bend your legs and roll to your side. Use your hands, everybody, to help you come all the way up to sitting. When you come up to sitting, take your time and sit however you want. I'm just going to show sitting like this, up on some height, the legs bent. But you can sit however you want. And also you can go slower than I'm going if you want to be still on your side, it's okay.
When you come to sitting, lift upright, be tall in the torso, and let the four limbs be passive. Hands can be palms down. Broaden and open your chest, center your head over your shoulders. And just for a very short time, just breathe freely. Be at ease. Notice the quietness in the body and in the mind that comes from the practice, which comes from the focused attention on yourself, physically and also the breathing. Consider what it's like to be in your body and feeling yourself and being connected. The best way to be able to connect with other people is to be able to connect with yourself first. Then there you are, the solid, complete being, higher self is present, and then you can connect so deeply and so honestly and so positively with those that come around you. And in this way, I think that we're all co-creating a more peaceful and loving world. To finish our practice for today, you can bring your hands together, chest height in Namaste position. And as you do this gesture, this hand position, feel yourself gathered together. And feel the wholeness of you, any amount that you can at this moment. And thank you very much. And all the best. And namaste. See you soon here.